सकते हैं आप लोग?
जी सर।
यूज ऑफ ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज हिंदी फॉर कस्टमर कन्वीनियंस, ये हमारा ये है, जिसकी शुरुआत अगर हम करते हैं, लीजिए आगे बढ़िए। आप देखिए कि मैं सीधे मुद्दे पर आता हूं। हमारे इस कार्य के लिए हमें बहुत सारे पुरस्कारों से भी नवाजा गया है और इस वर्ष हमें 2 कैटेगरीज में पुरस्कार दिए गए हैं। बेटर इंप्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज हिंदी और बेस्ट हाउस मैगजीन इन हिंदी। तो ये 2 चीजों के लिए हमें गृह मंत्री महोदय के हाथों से, मिनिस्टर ऑफ होम अफेयर्स श्री अमित शाह जी के करकमलों से पुरस्कार दिया गया है और साथ ही अन्य महानुभावों के हाथों से भी पुरस्कृत किया गया है और बहुत से अन्य पुरस्कार भी दिए गए हैं। पर मैं अब काम के ऊपर आता हूं। हमारा उद्देश्य जो है वो ग्राहकों तक उनकी अपनी भाषाओं में, हिंदी में, अपनी क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं में वो अपनी बात रख सकें। हमारी योजनाएं, हमारे सारे कार्य जो हैं, जिनका अंतिम उद्देश्य यही होता है कि हम दूर दराज के गांवों तक भी हमारी योजनाएं पहुंच सकें। बैंक की हमारी जो सारी स्कीम्स हैं, बैंक के हमारे जो प्रयास हैं, वो सारे अंतिम कतार तक लोगों तक पहुंचे। इसके लिए हमने बहुत सारे कार्य किए हैं। हिंदी में हमारी सारी पब्लिकेशंस हमारे हिंदी में हम करते हैं, हमारी प्रचार सामग्री हिंदी में की जाती है। अभी हमने मोबाइल ऐप को हिंदी में किया है और व्हाट्सएप बैंकिंग भी हमारी हिंदी में अवेलेबल है। इसके साथ ही हिंदी के अलावा तमिल, मलयालम, गुजराती, मराठी, ऐसी कुल 6 भाषाओं में ये उपलब्ध है। हमारे जनरल मैनेजर श्री के राजेश कुमार सर मेरे साथ मौजूद हैं और उनके नेतृत्व में ये सारा काम हो रहा है। मैं राजभाषा विभाग को हेड करता हूं और सर ओवरऑल इंचार्ज हैं हमारे बैंक के हिंदी के काम के लिए। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे हम आते हैं सर। सर आप देख सकते हैं कि हमने बहुत सारे कार्य हैं, जैसे कि अगर किसी को हिंदी में पासबुक चाहिए प्रिंट करके, यदि गांव का एक आदमी है जो अंग्रेजी में नहीं समझ पा रहा है तो हम उसे वो दे सकते हैं। मोबाइल बैंकिंग मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया हिंदी में की जा रही है, व्हाट्सएप बैंकिंग हिंदी में की जा रही है और सर हमने वेबसाइट हमारी बाइलिंगुअल की है, बल्कि ट्राइलिंगुअल की है, मराठी में भी अवेलेबल है सर वो। और नेक्स्ट पेज पे हम जा सकते हैं। मुख्य रूप से मैं यहां बताना चाहूंगा सर कि वी हैव पोस्टेड स्पेशलिस्ट हिंदी ऑफिसर्स इन ऑल अवर जोनल ऑफिसेज, दैट ऑफ 42 जोनल ऑफिसेज। और सर ए डेडिकेटेड हिंदी डिपार्टमेंट एस्टेब्लिश्ड इन हेड ऑफिस विच इज हेडेड बाय डिप्टी जनरल मैनेजर राजभाषा, जो कि मैं आपके सामने प्रस्तुत हूं सर। और सर इस वर्ष 15 नए स्पेशलिस्ट ऑफिसर्स हम रिक्रूट करने जा रहे हैं, उसकी प्रोसेस कंप्लीट हो गई है। नए 15 और ऑफिसर्स इस काम के लिए हम आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं और पीछे आप पुरस्कारों की सूची देख सकते थे और बहुत सारी एक्टिविटीज जो हमारे द्वारा की जा रही है। अभी हमने 2 फरवरी को ऑल इंडिया सेमिनार किया दिल्ली में, जिसमें सेक्रेटरी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया उन्होंने और डीएफएस के ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी वो भी उसमें उपस्थित हुए। राजभाषा कॉन्फ्रेंस हमने किया है अभी 24 एंड 25 को फरवरी में। हिंदी डे सेलिब्रेशन हम करते हैं जिसमें गुलजार साहब को बुलाया गया है, सोनाली कुलकर्णी आई हैं, मोहन आगाशे आए हैं। ऐसे चमकीले लोगों को हम बुलाते हैं ताकि लोग अपनी भाषाओं के प्रति, क्षेत्रीय भाषाओं के प्रति और हिंदी में काम के लिए थोड़ा सा आकर्षित हों, थोड़ा अट्रैक्ट हों। सर एक बड़ा काम हम करते हैं कि हिंदी वर्क डे इज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड ऑन द 3rd Saturday ऑफ एवरी मंथ at head office and all the offices and even all the branches. We have 2000 plus branches sir. सब जगह हम ये कार्य करते हैं। इसके लिए एक ट्रेनिंग किट भी हमने तैयार किया है। जी आगे बढ़ेंगे सर। मैं बिल्कुल समापन पर हूं, केवल मुख्य जरूरी चीजें हैं वो मैं एक बार दोहरा देता हूं कि बैंक हैज मेड हिंदी स्टेटमेंट ऑनलाइन थ्रू टेक्नोलॉजिकल रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट। वी आर द फर्स्ट बैंक टू मेक हिंदी रिपोर्टिंग सिस्टम ऑनलाइन। बैंक हैज मेड अवेलेबल हिंदी ग्लॉसरी at the bank's intranet for the use of branches and offices. और mobile apps are launched related to glossary and in-house magazine. सर हमारी 3 पत्रिकाएं आप देख सकते हैं। एक क्वार्टरली मैगजीन है महाबैंक प्रगति, एक मंथली मैगजीन है जो कि ई मैगजीन भी है, दैट इज महाबैंक संवाद सरिता। और इसका दिव्यांग लोगों के लिए हमने ब्रेल वर्षन इसका तैयार किया है जो कि हिंदी में है, हिंदी में ब्रेल वर्षन। और हम पहले बैंक है सर ऐसा करने वाले जिन्होंने हिंदी में ब्रेल वर्षन तैयार किया है अपने कर्मचारियों के लिए। सर हमारी पत्रिका बहुत सारी किताबें हैं, मैं केवल एक छोटी सी झलक दिखा रहा हूं। हिंदी में हमारे जो कर्मचारी लिखते हैं, हमारा जो स्टाफ हिंदी में कहानियां लिखता है, कविताएं लिखता है, उसके संकलन है अनुभूति और क्षितिज, और बाकी अन्य किताबें हैं। आगे बढ़ेंगे सर। मैं अंत में सिर्फ यही बताऊंगा कि अवर इज द फर्स्ट बैंक टू स्टार्ट ब्रेल वर्जन ऑफ हिंदी मैगजीन, फर्स्ट टू मेक हिंदी स्टेटमेंट ऑनलाइन, मोबाइल बैंकिंग ऐप, व्हाट्सएप बैंकिंग ऐप एंड वेबसाइट ऑफ द बैंक is made available in Hindi also for customer convenience. Availability of in-house magazine and Hindi glossary in mobile app, publication of various magazine, booklet, etc. in Hindi for banking awareness and to educate employees and public in general. Specific publication for kids in the form of cartoons to teach them the importance of saving and to educate them about वेरियस बैंकिंग सर्विसेज। तो कहीं ना कहीं सर वित्तीय समावेशन, फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन के लिए हम काम कर रहे हैं। अंतिम स्लाइड है कि वी इंटेंड टू यूज मोर एंड मोर हिंदी इन ईच एंड एवरी फील्ड ऑफ बैंकिंग, स्पेशली एट ग्रास रूट लेवल फॉर ईज एंड सिंप्लिसिटी थ्रू रेगुलर टेक्नोलॉजिकल रिसर्च एंड इनोवेशंस। This will enable customers to understand banking easily and financial inclusion can be implemented successfully with Hindi and regional languages. सर बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने हमें एक अवसर दिया अपनी बात यहाँ रखने का। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया सर। कुछ आप जानना चाहें तो आप अपनी भाषा में अंग्रेजी में पूछ सकते हैं।
आपने जो प्रेजेंटेशन दिया है बहुत ही कम शब्दों में और बहुत ही प्रशंसा करने लायक है। इतना आप अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, इसके लिए निश्चित रूप से आप धन्यवाद और अभिनंदन के अधिकारी हैं। निश्चित रूप से आप दोनों ने जितना इसको आगे बढ़ाया है अपने बैंक में, ये और बैंक्स के लिए भी और भी संस्थाओं के लिए एक प्रेरणा का स्रोत बने, ऐसी मेरी अपेक्षा है। और
बहुत धन्यवाद,
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका।
बहुत शुक्रिया सर।
सर बहुत अच्छे एफर्ट्स हैं आपके, पर आपका जो प्रेजेंटेशन अगर हिंदी में पूरा का पूरा होता तो और ज्यादा अच्छा होता।
जरूर करेंगे सर, हम तैयार है
सर,
हम हिंदी में करने के लिए भी तैयार है।
प्रेजेंटेशन हम हिंदी में ही करते हैं सर, केवल आप लोगों की सुविधा के लिए ये अंग्रेजी में किया था।
नहीं सर, हिंदुस्तान में हम लोग सब रहते हैं, सबको हिंदी आती है, आपको हिंदी में ही देना चाहिए था। तो हमें ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है कि आपने 100% हिंदी को इंक्लूड कर लिया है।
सर बहुत आपके सुझाव के लिए, हम बिल्कुल भविष्य में ऐसा ही करेंगे सर, क्योंकि हम हिंदी का काम कर रहे हैं तो हिंदी में ही प्रेजेंटेशन देंगे सर। आप इंग्लिश में बोल सकते हैं सर जी।
किसी को इंग्लिश बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है, सबको हिंदी आती है।
बहुत कृतज्ञ हैं सर, बहुत धन्यवाद।
हम सबको समझना है कि हमारे को हिंदी का उपयोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा करना है,
वो आखिरी ग्राहक तक पहुंचना चाहिए, हम यही हमारा उद्देश्य बस। वो
बिल्कुल डेफिनेटली
हिंदी से वाइड स्पोकन, बहुत लोग बात करते हैं हिंदी, तो
सर हमने देखा कि बहुत सारी मल्टीनेशनल कंपनीज हैं, वो अपने प्रोडक्ट को लोगों तक पहुंचाने के लिए हिंदी का प्रयोग करती हैं या रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस का। तो हम लोग इस पर पूरा ध्यान दे रहे हैं सर। अपने हर जोनल ऑफिसेज में हमने हिंदी ऑफिसर नियुक्त किए हैं, हेड ऑफिस में हम लोग हैं यहाँ, और इस प्रकार से सब जगह हिंदी में काम हो पाए। हमारे सर्कुलर्स भी हम हिंदी में करते हैं सर।
बहुत अच्छा सर, थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
We bring to you the social responsibility that we as Hindustan Zinc have been delivering on ground in our areas of operation. So kind of looking at what we do, we are spread across 3 states of India, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand being the largest, Gujarat being the next. Total looking at around 7 districts there, and more than 234 intense work in these villages, with around 2,500 of those where we have other initiatives like our Khushi Nandhar initiatives, which are running at the Anganwadi level. Around 1.4 million beneficiaries is what we touched base as of FY22 numbers. We are looking at beating this number this year in terms of direct beneficiaries that we have been working on. Since we have 2 of our programs, if I take the go ahead from the jury, just want to share a quick top-level view of what we do as Hindustan Zinc, and then intensely get into Samadhan as a project. Ruchika, you have 1 minute to take us through the larger elements, if the jury permits. Mr. Sharma, Mr. Tu, would that be okay with us? Am I audible? Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Okay, so maybe Ruchika, you can just quickly take us through SZL.
I'll quickly take it through. So when we talk about the vision, we have a vision clear on the front of that we need to improve the quality of life and economic well-being of the community, taking forward the collaborative approach that we bring in alignment with the business goals and the social license to operate. And this all takes us to the goals that we have to improve the quality of life, as well as through the partnership, multi-stakeholder aspect or the level of it, we need to become as a thought process leader for the different level of stakeholders of ours. Moving next is the two pillars that we specifically focus upon. One is on the quality of life and second is on the economic well-being. So when it comes to quality of life, we work in almost all the spheres of the area, which is to improve the education, the improvement of the healthcare system, the preventive and curative measures, as well as the most critical of water sufficient operational villages, because our major operational area is Rajasthan as a state, and inculcating the safety aspect, be it the home-based safety or the road safety, and every point of safety into the community. And lastly, focusing on the model villages, which is a holistic improvement in the infrastructure of the villages. Coming to the economic part, which is a very important part to look upon for our communities, is on the improvement of the skills for the youth, improvement of the agriculture and the livestock related activities for the farmers, and improvement of the women front at improving their women empowerment in terms of the leadership building, as well as their economic microfinance part of it. And lastly, we have the institutional building so as to ensure the sustainability of all of this. These are the major thematic areas that we work upon, which are with a very clear-cut core principles that we have, that we need to work in our neighborhood communities where our operations are, with a major focus on the impact-centric activities. So our activities are all cyclic activities, from starting from the baseline and the need that we bring in upon from the communities, and then reaching out to the last mile, focusing upon the impact part of it. How have we reached far and how have we developed our community, with a partnership model with the like-minded organizations, as well as with the government, bringing in the government schemes with us, and binding in all with the strong governance, the regular reviews and the committees, the CSR board committees brought into it. The structure of governance majorly focuses on the company level, CSR level, and as well as at the Vedanta group level, wherein we have the different committees with us, the board committee, the executive committee, the implementation and monitoring committee, as well as at the group level, we have the CSR Mancom committee, who are regularly the board committee on the quarterly basis, executive committee and the implementation monitoring committee and the Mancom on the monthly basis review our programs end to end. We also have the CSR function level activities, wherein we have the audits, the operational audit, which are the functional level, as financial level, as well as the process level audits, and the group level, which focuses more on the stakeholder engagement and the grievance processes that we have, and the management assurance audits that we have. Two of the important aspects that I would like to focus here is on the project steering committee, which for every program we have, wherein the on-ground implementation partner as well as the entire CSR team reviews the program in guidance of the CSR head, and regularly basis the program progress. We review on the KPIs and the impact that we have created. Project advisory committee is another unique part of all our measure of our programs, wherein the experts from the external world we have onboarded, and these are the subject matter experts who on yearly basis or half yearly basis review our program and support us on the front of taking our programs to a newer level, bringing in more innovative aspects to it. And we have our baseline and impact assessments to be done every 3 years, which we have already complied with. And we have also brought in the concept of perception study.
Thank you, Ruchika. Of course, monitoring and evaluation becomes a year-round element for us, along with the effort of what we do with our concurrent auditors who review our progress on a every month basis. What we wanted to present to you today of all of this is our initiatives on Samadhan as well as Sakhi. So moving on to Samadhan as a program, while our larger element has been to look at the scale, the speed, as well as sustainability of our initiatives that we do on ground, Samadhan as an initiative is an element from our side where we are wanting to make farming not just as a occupation, but also but majorly as an entrepreneurial approach. which with the elements of business plan, or for that matter, the collective approach there, or profitability element therein, and hence bringing in the strength of the farmers there, whether that is inclusion of women. We have around 8,000 women in our programs right now with whom we are working, beyond the male farmers there. But the larger focus is to bring in the collective spirit and bring in technology element there, bring in the best practices, inclusion of those into our initiatives with our farmers across the 5 districts of Rajasthan, as well as looking at the whole element of developing micro enterprises around that. When I say micro enterprises, it's about creating alternative means of enhancing their local economy, and that to collectively at that collective level, and bringing in that economic strength in terms of whether that's forward linkages or the go-to-market approaches, creating infrastructure for them, or for that matter, focusing on bringing in farmer producer companies. And we have 5 of those, which my colleague will be sharing as we go by. What is critical and predominant here is to work with the government and bring in convergence, as well as work with the other entities around and bring in those elements into our system, so as to strengthen the whole institutionalization of FPOs and these FIG, farmer producer companies, which are the unit organization of our program called Samathan. So FIG and then the FPOs, how do you institutionalize it and help in a collective manner that the farmers own, not just kind of benefit from it, but own them and run them by themselves. So that's the larger focus on our sustenance element. Shwetlana, if you could please talk about the program. We are at present located in 6 locations across 5 districts, and with 185 villages that we cover through this initiative. Shwetlana, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ruchika. So herein I'll talk briefly about the Samadhan project. So here we intend to actually showcase the various interventions that we have supported our farmer beneficiaries with. So in the agriculture vertical, we benefited the farmers with various package of practices, the POP as we call it. And with package of practices, I mean we are supporting the farmers with in both the sides, like providing them with agri inputs as well as the technical support on ground. So these POPs include, we support them for various crops, for cereals, pulses, oilseeds, etc. And the packages majorly includes the seeds, fertilizer, seed treatments, and everything, and accompanied by the training by our field technical experts that we are having at each of the Hindustan Zinc locations. We are having our technical agriculture experts, we are having the extension experts, we are having the team on ground who support us in extending and disseminating all this knowledge to the farmers. So apart from the POP, we have supported the farmers with vegetable cultivation. I must say the Mewar region that we are working in is mostly indulged in conventional form of farming. So there was quite a bit of resistance when we tried to introduce vegetable cultivation in our villages, but we took a lot of rounds of awareness sessions and tried to create that awareness among the farmers that vegetable is a very it may take a lot of effort, but it would help them in fetching good market prices, because most of the farmers are very much involved in cereals and pulses and nothing above that. So we were able to encourage our farmers, more than 1,800 farmers, through vegetable cultivation. And by vegetable cultivation, I'm not talking about just the conventional methodologies, but I'm also talking about high-tech vegetable cultivation, the low tunnel farming and the trellis or the mandap farming as we call it. So basically the ideology is how to make the farmers aware about utilizing the resources intensively, the land resources, the water resources, whatever they are having, how to intensify it through their farming methodology. So that is our entire ideology behind supporting the farmers through agriculture. Apart from this package of practices and vegetable, we are also involved in supporting the farmers with orchard farming, basically the plantation. And again, I must say, apart from the conventional method, wherein in 1 unit of land, the farmers used to grow around about 50 to 60 saplings, we have actually introduced ultra high density plantation practices in our villages, and we have supported the farmers and made them aware that in that same patch of land, they can also grow around 300 to 350 saplings in that same patch of land. It's that basically the maintenance of the saplings, the training, pruning, and all those methodologies, we have trained them and we have made the farmers aware about it. And this has actually led to a replicability of around 20 to 30% in our farmers who have actually expanded their wadis to a more area than we have supported them with. Apart from that, through our livestock vertical, we majorly focus on breed improvement programs through artificial insemination procedures. Apart from the conventional methodologies, we also we have the sorted semen AI's artificial insemination, which basically increases the conception of female calves up to 90%, and we have received overwhelming response from our field, from our community. And through Samadhan, we have been able to undertake more than 46,000 AIs, including the conventional methodologies, the sorted semen AI, as well as the goat AIs that we have introduced, which is kind of a project innovation in these spaces, because in Udaipur, we have an area of Zawar, which is majorly predominantly tribal areas, and most of the farmers are focused in goat rearing. These are majorly marginal and landless farmers. So this is the way how we are supporting them as well. So through agriculture, we have been able to reach out to nearly 18,000, more than 18,000 farmer families, and through livestock, more than 11,000 farmer families. Like Anupam ma'am earlier mentioned that convergence and leveraging the government schemes that we're having is a very key aspect that we take upon in the project. So through various government schemes, we have supported more than 27,000 farmers in our area. Ruchika, we can move to the next slide. Thank you. So
Sorry to
as
interrupt, you can
Yes.
conclude in next 1 minute now. You can conclude in next 1 minute, ma'am.
Okay,
Siddhant,
I'll just
Keeping the time
Siddhant,
limit.
yeah, we'll try Siddhant doing that. If we could take
Yeah,
on
sure.
a few minutes from our Sakhi presentation, that would be helpful.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, sure. But first we'll do the jury interaction for that this Samadhan project, and then post that we'll go for Sakhi one. Okay, ma'am.
okay. I'll just take next 5 minutes. Yeah.
Sure.
This is the herein we were trying to showcase about the innovations that we had. Majorly, I've already talked about it, the package of practices wherein we are trying to make the farmers aware about line sowing, the seed treatment, what is the importance of biofertilizer, the ultra high density plantation. I've already talked about it, the low tunnel, and we, for the marginal and landless farmers, we have actually introduced vermicomposting, zola farming, and mushroom cultivation as well as like secondary means of livelihood. Ruchika, we can move on to the next slide. Again, in the livestock intervention, I've already mentioned, we have this goat AIs and sorted semen AIs is kind of an innovation that we have introduced in our project areas, which has led to 90% of female calf conception in our areas. LST and FMD were two outbreaks that we had in our areas, and through Samadhan, we have been able to reach more than 24,000 farmer beneficiaries, and we have aligned and supported the government department, the animal husbandry department in all our districts as well. Ruchika? Thank you. So through herein, we are trying to showcase the major impact that we had through livestock initiatives. As I was mentioning, we have been able to undertake more than 46,000 AIs, which have been able to support the farmers in more than 10,000 female calves through our area, and that is roughly creating an asset value of more than 53 crores since the project inception. Yes, Ruchika, we can move to the next slide. Thank you. So as we were mentioning initially, apart from creating the strong farmer base, we are trying to focus on the sustainability side of it. For that, for Samadhan sustainability, we have established 5 farmer producer companies through the Samadhan project, and we have completed 1 year of business operation in this current financial year. We have a very well established and replicable model of very strong farmer base at the foundation, which are basically our farmer shareholders, roughly around 4,800, more than 4,800 farmers. And we were able to accumulate a share capital of 43 lakh rupees across all the 5 farmer producer companies. These farmer shareholders have been institutionalized into farmer interest groups and who actually handled all the FIG dynamics and the village dynamics as well. We have a 40% representation of women leaders as well in our FPOs. So yeah, apart from these FPOs, we have actually also established 2 micro enterprises associated with 2 of our FPOs. So one of the micro enterprise is our FSSI certified Ghatawali Mataji dairy unit, wherein we have associated with us nearly 100 farmers, and we initiated our dairy milk procurement with around 300 liters, and we could increase it up to 600 liters per day. And owing to the fact that we have started our operation just 10 months back, so it is quite an achievement for us. And the brand Goam of our dairy, and the USP for our dairy unit is the clean milk production. We have trained more than 200 farmers on clean milk production, and we ensure on regular health and hygiene checkup of these cattle and their living spaces as well. We have well-established laboratory services to analyze the fat and SNF and diseases such as mastitis, and analyze the adulteration. And these checkups and this analysis have been undertaking regularly on daily basis before we go for pasteurization and all those processes. So we were in this current financial year, we are closing on a total revenue of 60 lakh rupees from a dairy unit. So I'll just take a few minutes for clean milk production training. We have demonstrated and provided the farmers with clean milk production kits as well, which include Dettol soap, the CMT reagent kit, which actually helps in analyzing mastitis, sanitizers, aprons, caps, etc. So this is to ensure that the milk which is procured is of optimum quality in a dairy unit. So currently the product portfolio that we are having is of pasteurized milk, Bilona, ghee, paneer and buttermilk majorly. And we are aspiring to increase our portfolio to curd and Shrikhand, Khoa, Mawa, flavored milk, etc. in our next financial year. So apart from the dairy unit, we are having a mineral mixture and calf starter unit as well, associated with another FPOs, and which is basically works towards the animal health and nutrition. Herein we are closing on 60 metric tons production, providing a generation of around 40 lakh rupees to the FPO. So yeah, next slide, Jiva. So these are few like farmer testimonies that we wanted to share, farmers who were associated with our Samadhan program and what were their experiences with us through the high-tech vegetable cultivation, the orchard cultivation. Yeah. Yes, just a brief snapshot of the aspirations that we are having through the project in our near future. So currently we are standing at 4,800 farmer shareholders, and we are looking at least a farmer base of 9,000 shareholders associated with all 5 of our FPOs. In near our dairy unit, we are establishing a center of excellence for clean milk production, which will be a center of excellence for best-in-class animal husbandry practices. So that is in pipeline. We'll be closing on that as well. So 2 of our FPOs are associated with micro enterprises. 3 additional micro enterprises we are in pipeline, which we'll be establishing in next 1 or 2 financial years. So we are looking at least 1 crore of business revenue in both our like the dairy unit and the mineral mixture units in next year. And apart from the animal husbandry center of excellence, we are also looking at a center of excellence for agriculture as well. So yeah, thank you for your patience and the time that you provided with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I tried to beef it up. Yes, thank you. So thank you.
It's a journey.
I think you have completed the presentation, or is still left?
No, so the second presentation is there, Sharmaji.
So second we will take separately, because each project is evaluated separately. Anyhow, but what is your CSR budget? And among the agriculture sector, I am impressed with all the schemes under agriculture. Which is more impactful?
Our budget, overall budget is, if we look at the last financial year, is 190 crores, sorry, that we had invested upon, 191.92 crores. I think we need to mute, if others can please mute. Hearing other sounds as well, please. Thank you. So to answer your question, Mr. Sharma, 190.92 crores is what we have invested last year. And when we look at Samadhan as an initiative, which is our overall focus on agriculture and animal husbandry, we last year invested around 6.5 crores, Shwetlana, that's right. That's our investment for the agriculture as well as animal husbandry. Answering your second part of the question, Mr. Sharma, that which of this is a very strong element? Of course, all our practices, package of practices or technology or inclusion of good practices is the base. But what we are looking forward and where we are working towards from the last 1.5 years is farmer producer companies, the consolidation and the ownership level. And that's where we see the strength is. Right now for us, the major aspect is go-to-market approaches. We have established shops for these farmer producer companies. They are getting into the market. They're selling as white goods. They're selling it with their own brand as Go Home, which they own by themselves. As well as now, how do I look at modern trade is my first next element to it. And the other aspects, which will be to create a marketing company for them where all the 5 FPOs could integrate and look at output sales as well as beyond that, look at the sales with the processed food products that they create, or even the animal feed that we are producing.
Good. Thank you very much. In fact, that I wanted to judge whether you have been able to create entrepreneurship among them. Very, very good. Excellent and outstanding work. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, I could not understand what you said about power producing companies. What was that?
So we did not speak anything on the power producer, farmer producer companies.
Farmers.
Okay.
Farmers
Okay.
FPO.
I'm sorry. I thought it is a power producer.
Yes, there was just powered entities.
Okay. Farmer producer.
Farmer producer companies, these are being registered under SEBI. There are 5 of these companies under the ownership of the farmers as well as the women farmers there.
Yeah, your presentation is excellent, but I could not get the real crux of it. What is innovative in your activities under CSR? Because most of the states are having some of the other organization to do CSR activities in their states. So what exactly you want to say that which is innovative and worth giving you an award?
Sure, Mr. Sur. I think very well put as a question there. And my apologies if I could not help you understand the crux of.
No, actually, the material was so much that I got lost. Whether the state government is working or whether farmers are working or not, or everything has been done by you guys under CSR.
Okay, so essentially, this is a CSI initiative. If I can have few minutes from a minute from your side, this is a CSI initiative led by the farmers. We started our journey as a social initiative where we were extending technology, we were extending seeds to the farmers, the input material to the farmers in our first phase. What we wanted to showcase here was, Mrs. Sur, how over the last 2 years we have transitioned from where the ownership now is with the farmers. They run these programs, they make their own business plans. We are bringing in the technology in terms of the technical know-how to support them based on the direction they set for themselves. And where we are talking about is what is unique for us is the fact that
just tell me, is something is being done by the state government in this in this field?
No,
so
nothing.
State government is not helping the farmers.
So this is entirely CSI initiative where we bring in the convergence element from the state government. Is government has its own schemes. For example, in tribal areas, they provide seeds of certain kinds. We ensure that flow happens to the last mile connectivity element is what we provide to them. Or for that matter, government has these Atma awards where they recognize farmers which are illustrious, which are breaking the glass ceilings. That is something where we bring them on board. Otherwise, it's an initiative by the farmers themselves.
So you are trying to say that there are some schemes by the state government, but they are not complete.
What we are saying is there are schemes by the state government which are very strong and very solid. It's just that the last mile connectivity doesn't happen. And the actual turnaround impact analysis does not happen. For example, we have been working on Bajra for many years, Mr. Sur. It's not that year of millet made us focus on millets per se. So in our programs also, government has also been intensively working on. But if I compare, just to give you an example, our Bajra initiatives vis-a-vis the control initiatives, their production per biga is around 3.6 quintals, ours is 5.9 quintals. So that 45% increase that we have is because of the efforts that the farmers make and the CSR program as Samadhan makes on ground. That's where I'm mentioning on, not the.
Okay, I got it. That you are hand holding the farmers completely, not partially.
Yes.
Good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Sakhi is another initiative of ours where we focus on, again, the vertical is to strengthen the local economy, whether that's with farmers or whether that's with women. This is an initiative of friends, women coming together to find collective strength in each other. We have been working on this particular model to create those strong grassroots institutions.
Ma'am, you got mute. You got on mute.
Oh, sorry. I'll just quickly repeat the last sentence. We have been collectively creating these grassroots institutions where we have been bringing in self-help groups, the village level organizations, federations, which are legal entities up there. And then we have 7 federations. We have 209 village level organizations and around 2,153 self-help groups, where approximately 27,000 women are mobilized and they collectively create their own federations through elected leaders. What we have been doing on this is, of course, one is the financial inclusion part of it through microfinance institutions, as I mentioned, through these SAG, VU, as well as federation level efforts, or through convergence with the government and other banking sectors. We will share how we have been working around on that. The other part of that is looking at women empowerment through creating leadership or leaders around in the community. We have 700 federation leaders, of which 400 have already gone through the leadership training through IIM Lucknow and many other such institutions, where we are actually creating an economy around them where they could change the whole way of how they work. As in, it's a problem. Our focus is somewhere moving towards the Seva lines to create another Seva in Rajasthan per se, or Uttarakhand, where we are operational. Focusing on inclusion, focusing on education. Women in Rajasthan leave their education pretty early in life. Bringing them back to schools, making them do the 10th and 12th, and focusing on functional literacy is something that we have been working on extensively over the last 2 years. Focus on entrepreneurship development. So how do I ensure that they have sustained capability of financial inclusion? That can only happen through entrepreneurship development, through individual or through collective means. We have 12 such collective entrepreneurs, or rather production centers, as you would call, where we are in edibles, we are in textiles and apparels. We are selling across Dubai, Japan, and also, of course, India as a market. They own their own brands called Gom, Upaya, which are their own entities as their own brands that they hold very dear to themselves, and they're working on that. They also hold 2 marketing companies, Art with Fingers, which is the overarching element, as well as they also have a complete ownership on Sakhi Utpadan Samiti, which is an MSME registered entity. They also have been working on kind of strengthening their financial elements in terms of the lending element through internally focusing on how they could look at more productive loans, as well as through the CSR support that we extend to them on our FBLP loans, that the family-based livelihood program loans is what they focus on for larger initiatives and interventions. We are also working on cadre development, and I'll take you through on in terms of what do we mean by cadre development, whether that's on the gender, their right-based institutions, or for that matter, their bookkeeping, technology embedment, federation leaders, as I shared with you, Suraksha Sakhi, which is basically looking at these, safety of women and their rights, as well as other people around, and Poshan Sakhi, which is focusing on nutrition. So this is where I was coming in. Federation Sakhis, we have 400 leaders who have been already engaged to become leaders. Over and above, we have around 700 leaders who have been groomed over the years. 400 of them have already completed their journey. They are elected from the SHGs to the VOs and then over to the federation, where they come together, and then they are, they lead the working and the operations of the whole business. Samu Sakhis are on ground Sakhis, 211 of those Samu Sakhis, and they are basically there as leaders of collectively 10 SHGs at every village level. Gender Sakhis basically focus on the right-based element, a program called Uthori, what we have been working on, their vulnerabilities, their acts and rights, and how they can unite to strengthen each other rather than looking at somebody else for support. So building that last mile strength in them is what we have been working on. We have 98 master trainers in gender Sakhis across our locations, and they have worked along with around 25,000 of our Sakhis, which are part of our larger ecosystem. Ruchika, over to the next one. Of course, second chance education element I have already shared with you. I'll come back to you later if there are any questions on that. Bookkeeper, we have ensured that there are no dependencies on going forward as we grow on anybody else other than they themselves, as well as they probably would end up hiring people like us, professionals, to continue with their operations as they grow. But step one was to ensure that they understand what are the financial elements to it, how do they account for themselves, how do they ensure transparency, and hence the focus on bookkeepers from the very beginning. So all our 206 village organizations, which are collective of all the SHGs that we have identified bookkeepers who have been working with us on ground. And these are 206, handling all the village level organizations and their records up there. And there are specific trainings which are given to them. They're people from the same villages, they're same Sakhis. So it's owned by them, run by them, and for the larger good of theirs. Nutrition has been a major area for us that we've been focusing on. Over the last year and a half that we've been working on, we have worked around bringing in the basic understanding of what's on your plate and the element of 3 colors on your plate, and various government convergence elements, the schemes that are already existing, how to ensure that that's benefited by the larger population at large, and the last mile connectivity is there. 101 Poshan Sakhis are actively working on the field. Suraksha Sakhis is an innovation that we brought in terms of while we looked at the Uthori as a program, the right-based element, these are 106 Suraksha Sakhis which are actively working with the police departments of those districts or those blocks. And they have been embedded by the districts as their own representatives to inform or to work along with the police department. So that's broadly the larger focus that we have. We would come back on the other aspects. Neha, if you could share about the leveraging part of it, how we have been leveraging the government schemes, broadly give us a macro view. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, ma'am. So talking about the government schemes and the roles that Sakhis, the rural community, are playing actually to ensure that the benefit of all of these government schemes, social security schemes, is reaching to the mass, the community at mass in general. So because we cannot have a huge budget which can cater to so many people who are in need of it. So that's why this is the element we focused on as to how these women can emerge as leaders and take care of these kind of, the spread and the enrollment in these schemes and taking the benefit of these kind of schemes. So these are like to the right of the slide are the list of various schemes which we kind of focus. There is a major focus on 1 or 2 schemes which we try to kind of create more and more awareness and education on, and we've gone actually a step ahead now by setting up Seva Kendras or E-Seva Kendras at all our locations which are close to our mines, at all the core villages. So with these, we have categorized another cadre or built another cadre called Digital Sakhis, who are actually trained and they are given the E-Mitra license, government license, to operate that center, to go around and reach out to maximum number of people and help them with all the support system, the kind of documentation, etc., and the filing and availment of the benefit under those particular schemes. So far we've been able to reach the value of transaction of about 27 lakhs with those those women, those 14 women. And apart from that, as a support function, we've been able to have a beneficiary of close to 50,000 through various schemes that the women are working towards over the period of last 5 to 6 years. Now, going forward on the digitization front, as you might know, because even in government, Rajivika or the self-help programs in general, which are in prevalence across the country, the major problem here becomes how to record so many transactions that are happening and how to ensure that there is authenticity and there is transparency and there is accuracy within the system. So that's why we did not compromise on the digitization bit from the beginning itself, and we started working and training these women onto how to use those Android-based application by the use of tablets and distribution of tablets. So that's how what we do today is we do a tracking at SHG level with the help of these softwares, where the women, another cadre, as it was explained in the previous slide by ma'am, Samuh Sakhi. So these are the women who take care of the data entry on regular basis for 10 to 15 Samuh on an average. So this is the kind of model we have built in every panchayat and every village per se. So these are the women who are now rural women trained onto data entry, trained onto understanding how loans are to be recorded, how disbursals and the repayments are to be tracked and everything. So we are just improving more and more on this software to ensure 0% bad debt, 0% portfolio at risk, as I'll explain as we go ahead, how we are moving forward towards it.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Kindly conclude in next 2 minutes, keeping the time limit in mind.
Sure. So this slide explains the trend of savings, the loan disbursals and the loan repayments that have been happening over 5 years within the system. So just not taking much time, if you see the numbers, especially the last two section of bars, March 22, Feb 23, you will be able to understand that there is a significant jump of about 20 CR in the trend of loan disbursals and in the repayment as well, from 53 to 75 and 35 to 55, which as compared to previous years, as you see, there has been an average to 10 to 12 CR, which means they have been transacting, while they have been transacting a business of 10 to 12 CR or the 2,100 SHGs, today they are at the level of transacting a business of 20 CR, 1.5 times more than what they were doing in the previous years. Also a trend of a clear display of how healthy the entire system is, and how much the fund is rotating within the system. Zinc under CSR, we try to not infuse a lot of money in the system where it is completely stuck in somewhere in the pipeline. But our approach here is also to ensure that there is no gap in the pipeline and the money clearly goes from the top to the bottom and then again goes to the top and the bottom. So this is how we ensure the cycle to remain, and this is how we evaluate or monitor that what is the rotation ratio which is coming out in this particular graph. Also, savings are those voluntary savings that women themselves have been making, and as you see, there has been an increasing trend over the last 5 years. So with this 50 rupees average or 100 rupee average per month that these rural women save, they have been able to manage to reach the saving of about 15 CR, which they in turn rotated in the system, and it goes to the women who are in need by the way of loans. Next slide, Ruchika. This is a lending or the loan utilization pattern. Just one or two observations on this. Like if you see the first table, you would be able to notice that there has been about 57% or close to 60% focus on the livelihood generation utilization, like agriculture, livestock, non-farm. These are the activities where the loans are being taken for, and we as a part of the support system and the guidance system and leader building and capacity building, we try to ensure that more and more money is gone or the loan is being taken for the purpose of revenue generation activities, where there is a high possibility and less risk of loan repayment problems, and also the community becomes financially independent over the period of time. The one we see on the right is the scheme that we run within the project. It's called Family Based Livelihood Program, where again the entire focus is towards towards livelihood, the fund diversion towards livelihood in the within the system. So as you can see, agriculture, livestock, micro enterprise together envisage like 96%, over 96% of the total lending that has happened of 11 CR. The average loan size in the second table, as you can see, is about 25,000 rupees, and the average loan size in the first table, which is the general loaning that happens, regular loaning that happens in the SHG, is about 5,000 to 6,000 rupees per month. Ma'am, if you could.
Taking on to the next level of what do we do and how do we strengthen these microfinance institutions into enterprises. As I was mentioning, we have 12 collective production centers where we have stitching apparels as well as textiles in terms of upholstery and other things. We are also in, which is called Upaya as a brand. We are also into Daichi, which is essentially looking in, and when we say we, it is the Sakhi owned initiatives. We are into pickles that we produce at Uttarakhand as well as in Ajmer as a region. We are into pulses where we are processing the pulses in Bhilwara and selling as a Daichi as a brand. Or we are into as well spices in Chittorgarh where we are processing spices like whole or powdered ones and selling them as brands of Daichi under Daichi element. We have done almost like 46 tons of production. We have almost 200 plus product range that we have under these Daichi as well as Upaya brands. This year, the collective business turnover was around 1.8 crores that we have had. Profit of around 13.2 lakh. That is, as I mentioned before, we have been exporting outside in terms of our apparel. Internally, we have within India, we have partnered with Reliance Retail, Amazon, the Grameen portal by the CSC or the Ministry of IT, as well as other e-commerce portals like Flipkart and others. The larger focus is to create a very robust organization of these women, not just on the financial inclusion or security part of it, but also making them entrepreneurs in their own means, in their own spaces. And they are also marketing in the local economy or villages around, and that is through the business sakhis. Ruchika, if you could take on to the next slide, please. Where business sakhis are the ones who sell in the local location areas. If you see the bottom rung, there are production sakhis which produce the products in these collective production areas. There are business sakhis which sell this. So on an average, kind of from 5,000 to 2 lakh is the kind of sales that they do, turnover they do. And individually, we have had instances where our women have sold 2 lakhs or more in a month in their own local villages and have earned income around that with 10% of the larger percentage point going to them. So what we are doing is our model is around creating our procurement, local raw material procurement from our own farmers or from the local market itself, and our Sakhi women in the production centers processing those raw material input and hence extending it to the business Sakhis who then cover the rural market, and through the modern trade and other e-commerce element, we take it to the larger market outreach. Both offline as well as online is what we have been focusing on. As we mentioned, we have done white good products also. Now we are into our own Upaya and Daichi as products. We have our own Sakhi Huts in our locations, and these Sakhi Huts end up becoming the experience stores where we have other services other than our products like beautician, tailoring, or for that matter, live counters for edibles as well. What we are doing, our USP is these are 100% owned and operated by rural women. They make their own products. They now have got into that space where they make choices of where they would like to procure the material from, that is the raw material. And they also have kind of their impressions, their footprints across the entire supply chain, whether those are packaging, whether those are production. What we have excelled over the last 2 years in this has been, one, our quality, batch on batch quality element that we have been able to sustain, our packaging element, as well as the transportation or the delivery mechanism. These are 3 things we have mastered as Sakhis or as Daichi and Upaya. And I think where we are moving forward is there is no end to that particular dream that we all as Sakhis as well as Hindustan Zinc CSR have been dreaming about, making this a reality where we would have these brands across the globe. And our next target is 21 countries is where we are looking forward to export our production. So that's broadly where we are. Ruchika, if you could go on to, these are some of the case studies of some of our women. We also bring these case studies to all our packaging. We have their faces and their stories on these packaging because it's their brand, they own it. And they also have their websites. Upaya has their entire e-commerce website, which has been already developed and has been doing business for last 1.5 years. Daichi, which is in the food grains as well as pickles and other things, are getting into the web page or their own website of their own right now, but we are already on the e-commerce space. That's broadly it. If Gauri, I've missed something, you may please add. Otherwise, that's from us.
Thank you, ma'am. I think this is very good, noble work you are doing, and you have been able to create a business sense among the women in Rajasthan. You have also mentioned about the Rudrapur. Are you also operating in Uttarakhand?
Yes, we are. We have a silver unit in Rudrapur, sorry, and we have a couple of production centers there. One is on the textiles, and the other one is the pickle unit.
Okay.
Collective production centers which are there.
Thank you, please. Thank you, please. Thank you. Excellent work.
Excellent work and excellent presentation, and your teamwork is also really excellent.
Thank you.
The type of information you have provided, I'm tempted that I should visit some of your work areas and see how, because I worked with government for around 32 years, and I know how in central government and state government we make so many schemes, but they don't translate into reality at the tail end. So
would be a pleasure, sir. Would be a pleasure to invite you. We are not very far. We are in Udaipur. We are in Chittor, Rajsamand, wherever you wish to come, and we are in Uttarakhand, as sir was mentioning.
Yes.
Whatever is an easy space for you to travel, we'll be happy to host you. It will be a pleasure.
Okay, but really, it's very good to listen. All these activities are going on in our states, and things are improving. Things are improving. I wish you all the best. Thank you to you and to your team.
Thank you very much, sir. Our aspiration as a team is not just to do CSR, but to do a business-focused CSR, which could sustain on its own, irrespective.
I have heard so many presentations on CSR, but the professionalism which you and your team has shown, that how the things really, how to make the things profitable as well, because merely dispersing the fund does not make any sense. But if you make the things professional way, and the people start thinking at the last mile that they need to make some profit, then only the things start working, and they are last long.
Yes, sir, for sure. As in you very well said. And one thing which SKOCH also has an ethos is of governance, transparency of data, and digitalization, whatever means that may be. So looking at governance and transparency is something that we have been extensively working on. Governance is a non-compliance for us. It's a non-negotiable element for us. And we have intense structures there within our system, as well as within the Samadhan FPOs or Sakhi production centers or institutions per se itself, microfinance. And of course, digitalization, ensuring that digitization is there, data is there. And you can see the last number also on ground, which is being collected, collated, or data being aggregated to our partners.
Excellent work.
Thank you, sir.
In Kutch district of Gujarat state. Basically, about the overview, we will look for so what kind of initiative has taken place at Dodo for transform the economy of Kutch. Then we will look about the Ran Utsav yearly growth, about the experience at Dodo, responsible tourism, impact assessment, and outcome of the responsible tourism. So the next slide is about the region overview. So basically, Kutch is a extreme western land in the state of Gujarat, It shares the border with the Pakistan also. So Kutch is one of the most ecological and ethnically diverse district of Gujarat. Run of Kutch is a vast landscape and one of the world's largest seasonal wetlands. So there's basically the Dodo, where this village is situated. The region is called Banni. The Banni is a large portion of Kutch, which has a diverse geoclimatic condition, and agriculture is not a quite sustainable owing to the soil condition and the poor drainage. So basically, the entire region has a salty soil condition. So because of this, agriculture is not possible in this region. So that's why the economic condition of this region is very poor. So a significant share of sole production in the country is basically come from this region only. It has a large reserve of limestone, bauxite, lignite, and bentonite. So these are the other aspect of this region. For example, industrial census of 2000 says there were only 26 large and medium industries in the Kutch, with a small 1.57% industrial production. Everyone knows that in 2001 it was that there were a catastrophic event occurred. The earthquake had demolished the demography and the economy of the Kutch district in 2001. So after the earthquake of 2001, the government provided incentive with relaxations in excise duty and sales tax to promote rapid industrialization. But still, there were no specific growth happened after the 2001 earthquake in the industrial sector. So that time of the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Narendra Modi, planned think out of the box and initiate the event. 2001, there was a and after 2001, gradually, very unique initiative happened by tourism industry, and especially Gujarat tourism initiate few unique experiences and few unique ideas to make a sustainable growth in this region. So what we have done? So basically, we have promote the tourism in this region to make the benefits to localites. We have organized. So the concept of the Ranotsav was advised by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. The Ranotsav festival is held in Banni region of the Kutch in Dodo village. The main hub of the Ranotsav since it is a main hub of the Ranotsav since 2005. Duration of the festival is between November to February months because of this region, it's a very arid condition. The geographical condition are very dry and salty, so it's not possible to organize a festival throughout the year. So we make a plan that we will organize this kind of festival during the winter season, for example, November to February months. So what was the objective of this Ranotsav festival? To revive the earthquake-ravaged district through tourism, thus creating an alternate and gainful livelihood opportunities for the residents, and to showcase the unique geographical wonder of the Great Salt Desert. Dwindling art showcasing provide entrepreneurship about the Ranotsav. In the past, as we can see, it was started in 2005. Left corner of the slide, you will see the gradual increase of the days of this festival. For example, 2005, when it was started, started with the 3 days of festival. Then gradually it becomes the festival of 118 days. So last Ranotsav festival was held for 118 days. It's like approximate 4 months. So on the right side of the slide, tourist food. We have, so you will see in 18 it was a lakhs of visitors of festival. So we have footfall of lakhs of visitors. So Dhodo, what is about this festival? Dhodo is a wonderful of experiences. Like it has a rich and diverse creative tradition of Kutch, Kutch intersection of cultures and communities. World-renowned mirror embroidery. It's famous for world-renowned mirror embroideries like khari patchwork, applique, bandhani, leather, pottery, and the most of above this all, Rogan painting is a world famous art from Kutch, which is very expensive also. But the Kutchi, it was found. It is found since last 1 century, I guess, and there is a craft bazaar also during this Ran Utsav. There is organization craft bazaar is being organized for the tourists who can visit this craft bazaar and get the experiences of the different art, local art of the Kutch. So many across the world has visited this Ran Utsav, and they also get interaction with the local people, and it provides a unique experience and heritage of Kutch. During the last tourism working group meeting of G20, the G20 delegates got interact with Mr. Mia Hussain, which he is currently Sarpanch of the Dodo, and on the topic of how tourism boosts the local economy of the Kutch. They got the interaction with the locals. So that was a wonderful experience for the local as well and the G20 delegates. So this is a kind of one achievement for the Gujarat tourism as well, that G20 delegates, like we all know the G20 group, how they lead to 85% of the GDP of the entire world. So their representative get the interaction with the local sarpanch of the small village of India. So it's like a huge achievement for Gujarat as well as the India as well.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Keeping the
Dodo
time
is
limit in
famous
mind,
for
kindly
their
conclude
Kutchi
in
cuisine.
next 2
There is
minutes.
a clean and hygienic local to see this kind of mud huts. It's called bhunga in local language, and as you can see, there is a craft bazaar also. Local artists at White Sand Desert showcase their art, and people get enjoy. So the celebration of over 100 days showcase the unique geographical wonder of the Great Salt Desert. It handles in the region, especially boost. So in last 5 years, there was 16 lakhs of tourist footfall during the Ran Utsav, and it of income last year only, because this year's current is under process and we haven't got that. We will get that in next month. So as of now, this is the income. So common villager 1,000, which was only 50 rupees in 2013. So the responsible tourism based on 4 factors: environment, viability, responsibility, defined by UNWTO. So on basis of this, I will showcase what we have done in Dodo for the responsible tourism. So these are the first is the economic in 2021-22 was 7.45 million US dollar. In different sectors are, as you can see, fee was 0.22 revenue 0.4 million USD during the Ran Utsav in 2021-22. Food outlet income, handicraft sales, local transport, camel horse riding, live artist performance, Mawa selling soaps. Soaps are like very famous in this region. So socio-cultural impact is here also. So we have empowered opportunity. Like there are so many women entrepreneur and artisans. There's a stall in Ran Utsav, and people come here and they buy product from them. So the local women also get the exposure to the foreign visitors, as well as the other visitor come from the different region of the India. So it becomes a good global platform to exchange the culture and social values. So, heritage preservation of traditional Bunga style. For example, I have already shown the that mud hut, which is called Bunga. It is a local identity of the Kutch region. People used to live in this Bunga because of the geoclimatic condition. So the people from across the globe experience this kind of Bunga style living. Due to this festival, people come to know about the region and all. So there, before 10-15 years, there was only one primary schools. Now there is a high school also there, and college is already under construction. So the health sector has already grown up in this region to public utility infrastructure in this region. More
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. So kindly conclude in this next 1 minute.
Of this. So responsible tourism is environmental sustainability. We don't use RCC work in any kind of constructions. We use temporary structures like Bunga, which made from clay and mud only, and we have this tent city, which erect from in the also use to the environment harm. We also barren desert. You will find species which is not. For example, it's a desert fox is in this region. Specific, we have for flamingo. It's called Flamingo City. So only few in the. This is how we do the general. We risk vehicle due to carbon emission and all. With RO plant during the in the fourth slide, I will education and awareness platform to the locals, preserve the culture, natural resources, local arts and handicraft. We also conduct educational tours frequently during the festival, so people from the modern cities can get the experience of the local things and local art and culture.
Sorry to interrupt.
Recently, we have a Honorable Vice President of India, Mr. Jaideep Dhankar, visited with his wife in this festival, and they got conversation with the local artisans, as you can see in the photograph. I have also already mentioned during the G20 meetings, G20 delegates interact with the local survivors, and they have a good session throughout the through this meeting. So what are the outcome of the this responsible tourism? So post-earthquake, government deliberately tried to develop tourism which can provide relief to the locals, and we are proud to say that we have 90% succeed in this initiative. We have still some initiative yet to start in this festival.
Sir, kindly
We
conclude,
are
sir.
White Run
Kindly
visitor
conclude
flow
your
attract
presentation, sir.
1% of visitor flow during Ran Utsav. In the year 2021-2022, total 72,550 overnight tourists flow into Ran Utsav. In the span of just 4 months, 2,80,000 people have visited the this White Run festival, and more than 110,000 people have visited the museum. There is a museum also in this region. It's called Krutivan. It is for it is an earthquake museum, so people can
Sorry to interrupt,
have
sir.
the
Kindly
experience of
conclude your presentation, sir.
Post earthquake
Sir, we
scenario.
are running out of time, sir. Sir, kindly conclude your presentation, sir. Actually, we are running out of time.
So we want to show you one video. It's a 2-minute long video where we can. Basically it's a crux of the overall
Siddhant,
project. So
yes, sir.
Stop it.
With your permission, I am going to start this video.
No, thank you, sir. In fact, you have already covered more than that. Thank you for the video. We have to take other presentations also.
So basically, it's a 2-minute video.
I want
to request you that video, so you will get more information about the project.
Siddhant, you don't have control to stop his presentation?
No.
Yes, sir, I have.
Then he stop
doing
his
it.
presentation.
You could have shown this video earlier.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
No question from my side.
I'm Sashwati from NTPC, and I have with me Mr. Sujit Kumar Chaubey and Mr. Vikram Pandey. So we will be talking about Project Pradeep, which is a huge digital initiative taken by NTPC Limited. So first, I will like to start with what is the genesis for bringing such a huge project. So the major genesis was the conventional way of file movement of any business process was earlier in paper or files. So that was itself is challenge because the paper movements take time, and because NTPC has stations across all the nation, all the country, so it was all the more challenging for file movement. So it always increases the approval process timing. Also, the storage of the files was a huge challenge, and as the executives gets transferred or changing the ownership of the files become another challenge. Apart from this, as there were multiple locations in NTPC, so each location used to follow a separate set of standard or separate set of process to achieve any business process. So that was itself another challenge because there was not proper standardization of process across the NTPC. Also, we have got multiple applications, multiple IT applications available, such as our SAP system, such as our Japnik system integration, and also we have various in-house developed applications available on sites. And there was no proper integration among these various systems. So that became a challenge in terms of monitoring, in terms of keeping track, or in terms of if you want to optimize a process, that becomes a huge challenge. So to avoid all these or to mitigate all these challenges, NTPC took the initiative of bringing all the processes of NTPC business process, the day-to-day activities which the NTPC employs to a digital platform in terms of the Project Pradeep. So Project Pradeep being actually mapping of the manual processes which we do in a day-to-day basis in NTPC to a digital platform. So on the click of a button on your laptop, on your desktop, on your mobile or your tab, you can carry out all the office related activities. So the immediate benefit which we can see from this is the minimal use of papers. Of course, it supports the sustainable environment theme, and it provided a e-office environment for all the processes. It brought the business processes automation, the standardization of business processes, and in turns, it improved the efficiency of the business processes. So this is a huge project, but we would like to speak about the three major things which we have done recently under this project. First is development and implementation of corporate contract processes. Second is the vendor payment portal, and third is financial auditing. So the corporate contract process, if I say it in a normal layman language, is basically award of contract packages to vendors. So the contract services starts with finalization of package list. Then it moves through several processes. Like I can say there are 7 plus 12, there are 19 processes which are covered under pre-NIT approvals modules and pre-award processes. And then there is a post-award processes, which again compromises of 15 different activities and processes. So the if I come to the first one, which is finalization of package list. So the package list is basically grouping of similar nature of services or materials for one or more plants of NTPC. So this may be related to new plant erection in NTPC, or maybe O&M activity of any existing plant, maybe R&M activities of the plants. So some of the major package list are boiler package list, coal handling package list, or plant erection package list in NTPC. So after the finalization of package list is completed, there comes the pre-NIT and pre-award processes. It again compromises of multiple activities in which vendors are also involved. Multiple departments of NTPC are involved, such as engineering department or quality insurance department, and site engineering departments is also involved. So all this compromises of pre-NIT and pre-award processes, which result in ultimately award of package to the vendor. And after the award is done, there are many post-award activities also involved in the contract services, such as deviation or extension or payment, contract closing activities. So all these activities the complete life cycle may run from 5 years to 10 years, depending on the scope of the work of the contract. So these are huge contract being awarded by NTPC to vendors such as BHEL or Siemens. So these have huge monetary volume attached to it. It ranges from maybe 1 crore to 800 crores. And also it is very important because these are our business critical applications whose approval and whose implementation is very much required to be done on time. So there are some few unique features which we have done while moving the manual process to digital platform. We have given the option of joint node initiation in this processes, so that there is some kind of requirements where multiple person can initiate a node. There is committee recommendations note are there, and there is intimation. Suppose then any intimation is required to be done to vendor or any other party, and all those intimation need to be stored at one particular place for any person or any authorized person to see. So that feature is there. Then there is option of parallel file movement. So to save time, so wherever the process required, we have given the option if a file can be moved parallelly for multiple opinions of different people. Then there is a document and input gathering mechanism is also there, so that as vendors are also involved, so we can have all the documents and input stored at one place. And as these are huge files of having much financial implications, so it goes through multiple round of iterations. Like we do in paper, we create draft and we get it approved before the actual file movement. So we have brought that feature also to digital platform, where multiple iterations of a note can be done before it is actually being finalized. Also, these processes are all dashboard driven. So role-based authorization can be given to users, where the specific person can only monitor and view the processes involved in contract services at a time, and they can keep on tracking and keep on initiating new processes also. Also, there is enhanced UI, so that the business critical metadata related to any specific process or the documents are always available to the users before giving any kind of approval or any decision is made. Then also it has been integrated with our SAP system for PO creation, PO amendments and payments. And of course, we have a central repository where all the files are securely saved and the access is only role-based. So there's no hampering on the files also. Then just to give you a brief about the numbers. So there are around 47 package lists which are already been created using this digital platform, and 3 contracts are already been awarded through this. And there are multiple files at different stages which are there in this module. And just to give a general idea, the cost of a single package may range from 1 crore to 800 crores or even more for that matter. Then if we talk about the scalability and replicability, so the whole process is designed on IBM, BPM and ECM technology. So by the virtue of it, we are very easily able to get the scalability and replicability. So because in IBM BPM, the development methodology is a modular toolkit approach, which option of having multiple APIs integration. So it can be easily scalable if we talk about the scaling the scope of the project. If we, and it is also very easily scalable in terms of infrastructure based horizontal vertical. And it is always ready to move to cloud or the latest version of the BPM IBM BPM stack. And if we talk about the replicability, again, as it is a modular approach and loosely integrated with other third-party systems, it can be replicated anywhere where IBM BPM stacks is available. It can be consumed there simply using import and export of the process. We can changes the configuration, and it can be used in other similar landscape also. Then the roadmap, like we have already integrated with SAP, LDAP, JEPNIC, and other in-house system wherever required. The next phase we are planning to do integration with our GEM portal, government e-marketplace for tendering activities. And also there is a provision of RPA for process optimization, which we are yet to get the benefits from and which we are planning to do in the future. Next, I will talk about the vendor payment portal. So just to give you a brief, so vendor payment portal, as per direction of our finance ministry, we have created a portal where all the vendors can upload their invoices, their digitally signed invoices on the portal. There's no need of submitting the physical invoices to any particular executive or to any particular office. They just need to open this portal and they need to upload it. And it is an automated process. It will go to the concerned engineer in charge for that invoice. It will then, after it is accepted, it will go to the concerned finance for vetting and the concerned cash and bank, and automatically the payment will be done, and the status of the payment, like how much is paid, how much is deducted on what account, all those will be shared with the vendor as well the EIC as and when it is done. So it is a real-time tracking facility is there, beginning with when the vendor is submitting the invoice till the payment is done. So last year in this portal, around 1.5 lakhs invoices have been uploaded by NTPC vendors, and it translates to around 85% of the invoices which are received in NTPC on our digital platform. So because we have this platform ready for our vendors to come and become a part of our processes, so there were many other problems also which vendors were facing in due to lack of any proper interface with our company. So one was MSME updation or Udyam registration certificate updation. So as per guidelines, we have to waive off the EMD at the time of tendering and also prioritize the MSME vendors at the time of payment processing. So for that, we have used the same vendor payment portal in which the vendors can come in and they can upload their MSME certificate, and through a workflow system, it gets approved and it gets saved with NTPC for future purposes. Then there was a challenge of confirmation or vendor balance. So every year, as per statutory guideline, NTPC had to print a letter of confirmation for vendor balance to each vendor and post it manually, and then vendor has to sign and post it back to NTPC. So this was completely a manual process. And also the record has to be shown to our auditors also, ki how many vendors have confirmed their balances. So to eliminate all this, the same portal, vendor payment portal, has been utilized. So there we have from the system itself, the vendor is able to see ki how much balance is pending or what is the liability against NTPC. And they are confirming it on the portal itself. And that data is available to our auditors also on the real-time basis. So currently 33,684 balance confirmation are done by vendor on this portal only. Then there was a guideline if
sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Kindly conclude in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I will be done. So there was another guideline saying if the vendor turnover is more than 10 crore, then they have to submit the GST issued invoice only, the e-invoice. So in manual checking, we don't have any system like that. So in this portal, we have given an option where the online turnover submission can be done by vendor on the portal itself, and the system will put a check whether the vendor is actually submitting the GST issued invoice or not. So that check is also been done by this portal. Another important thing which is done in this portal is financial auditing. So as we know, like in NTPC through multiple locations, there are around 3 kinds of financial auditing been done. One is internal, one is statutory, and one is government. So for each auditor, the auditor has to go to the location and stay there for maybe a month or so and complete the auditing and submit their observation and then come back. So all this was a very time-consuming affair in terms of time and cost also. So what we have done, we have designed a portal called as financial auditing portal, where the auditors will have access to view the files, to submit their observations in the portal itself. And the reply is also moved in the portal itself. So the complete observation and reply of the financial auditing can be done at one place without them visiting to all the location. So this was very helpful, especially in the time of COVID, when there was complete restriction on movement and all. We were able to complete our financial audit on time all these years. So this was a great help in that time. Okay, thank you. That's all from this.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good presentation. Regarding this vendor development, there is a issue that startups generally say that we are not fully integrated with the public procurement system. Government is not up to the its sincerity to purchase products developed by startups, whereas their products may be superior to the established product and cheaper also. What is your take on that? How do you promote products and services from startups in NTPC?
Sujit, you would like to take on this?
Yeah. Good morning, all. Actually, sir, within that corporate contract module, we have vendor enlistment groups also. We have a process where, for certain nature of work, we are enlisting certain vendors so that we can fasten up our procurement process. During this vendor registration or vendor enlistment, we are just meeting all the new vendors also, along with our already registered vendors, so that we can, using our quality assurance methods, we can visit their materials or their supply chain, and then we can, if our quality assurance team finds it is suitable as per our scope of work, then we vendors can be registered and make part of our vendor enlistment group for that particular material or services.
Thank you, Mr. Sujit.
Good presentation. I don't have any specific question to ask. Thank you.
So we have Mr. Akhil Raizada, who is GMIT and looking after all the digital transformation initiatives in NTPC. And we have GS Agesh from Commercial Department, because we have this RPA project implementation in commercial billing. So with this introduction, can I start my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just a moment. Yeah. So We start with the robotic process automation in NTPC. So we have done this project implementation in commercial billing. This is a part of our digital transformation initiative, and before I go into the detail of this project, I would like to put a definition here so that we understand all the terms and of references that I'll be using in the following slides. So RPA, in short, robotic process automation, the short is RPA. It's actually a framework of software bots which uses a combinations of various type of automation techniques like simple automation, computer vision, AI/ML, API integration, etc. And what it does is to mimic human actions in doing daily routine activities. So these are best suited to automated, repetitive, rule-based, high-volume routine work, which are often performed by knowledge workers, and thereby releasing these workers for more value-added jobs. And it increases precision and throughput of any manual activities because it works 24/7, 365 days a year, and no major process change is required, no major investment in infrastructure is required. Software development cost is also not very high, and it is quite easy to deploy. Time for deployment even for a high complexity process is around 3 to 4 months, because it is actually a very non-invasive kind of a development tool. So this RPA journey in NTPC started in December 2019 when we did a small POC on processing employee health checkup records, which we have annual health checkup, and we get records from various hospitals. So we picked up 5 major hospitals, and we picked up 10 health points like BP and sugar, etc. And we extracted the data from these various formats of health records, health checkup records, and we pushed it into SAP. Now, this was shown to our medical group and our HR group in December 2019, and being encouraged by this POC, we went for a pilot project implementations in September 2020 in commercial billing. And then we will talk about it, this particular use case in detail. Today's presentation is all about that. And we have future implementation plans in invoice processing, vendor onboarding, MIS report creation, and many other such automation projects. We are currently using only 5 to 10% of the total bot time that we have. We have scope of future implementation plans, future enhancements in various other processes. So how our RPA development life cycle started is very similar to any major software processes, only that use case identification is a very important process here, because not all use cases, not all activities are suitable for RPA enablement. So we did targeted workshops with various departments like finance, HR, commercial, and we had to select a use case which is easy to deploy, which should not be too complex, so that people's confidence reduces, but it should have all the flavors, most of the important flavors of this tool and of this technology, so that we really understand that what it is capable of. So we once we have zeroed in on the use case, on which we will talk in the subsequent slide, we started doing the blueprinting. We analyze, it's very important to analyze the total process and identify the activities which will remain manual and the activities which will be taken up for automation. RPA automation doesn't mean that the whole process needs to be 100% automated like any other classical automation techniques. So you can keep some portion manual if it is critical, or if it feels that that manually it is done better at a lesser cost, so you can keep it manual. We analyze the inputs and outputs and where it is getting integrated, the output points, and then you finalize the blueprint, get a sign off, develop the bots, take user acceptance, and then do a production deployment. The only thing, this is very similar to any other software project, but the only difference is that you have to monitor the state through process, which is STP, and the validator entries. Now, this RPA is an AIML based tool. So in the first instance, the training is such that you don't get 100% STP. Now, what I mean by STP is that if you are asking the bot to process 100 documents and it processes 80 documents straight away without any human intervention, then it is 80% straight through processes. The rest 20% goes to a concept called validator, where you need some human intervention for completing the portion of the job that it could not do, it could not understand, thereby completing the process as well as giving more training to the bot so that it doesn't do that mistake in future. After this workshop, we had then zeroed in on process in commercial billing. So I will request my colleague Agesh from the commercial department to throw light on this process, after which I will resume. Yeah, Agesh.
Thank you, Chandra ma'am. I hope I'm audible. I'm from
you are audible.
I'm from commercial department of NTPC. We are basically the user department for this RPA implementation. As you may be aware, NTPC is a power sector major. We are in the business of power generation. And our customers are basically distribution companies who procure bulk power from our various generating stations across the country. So based on this energy drawl, we have to raise them monthly invoices to these different beneficiaries, that is across the country. And based on these invoices, they make us payments. This is basically the end-to-end process for billing to collection management. So as Chandraji had correctly said, this is the end-to-end process was not automated through this RPA. Basically, this was a pilot implementation. We didn't exactly know what are all possible with this system. And for us, the billing is a very critical process because a lot of financials are involved. So we didn't, the basic requirement was that accuracy, that 100% data should be accurately picked and processed. That was the basic requirement. So currently this is just a mapping of our billing process. For this, carrying out this invoicing of bulk power purchases to our customers, we have there's a lot of data has to be acquired from different sources, like data flows from energy accounting agencies. We call them the regional power committees. These are statutory bodies. They generate the energy accounts, how much each customer has drawn from each station. That is on basic data for raising the invoices. There are a lot of other data is required, like tariff related data from our corporate center, then fuel parameters that flows from our various stations and so on. So here we have automated the data integration from the energy accounts, that is energy data issued by the statutory bodies. So these are basically published on a monthly basis in public websites, publicly accessible. So what the board does, it goes to that website, it downloads that particular energy data in a particular, always it is issued in a particular template. So based on the data mapping, it extracts the energy data. There various parameters are to be extracted from that particular document. Basically, it's a PDF based document, it's a signed PDF document. So both data extractor actually extract the specified data fields. For example, scheduled energy, station wise, beneficiary wise. Then station availability is another parameter that we need to pick up. Since we are operating around 50 approximately stations across the country, so the picking the data from the REA becomes cumbersome or manual process otherwise. So that is why we selected this program. Okay, it's a lot of data has to be extracted. So why not try this particular thing? What the board does, it extracts the specified data from the REA. Then there is it extracts in the raw format, and then it pre-processes the data based on certain set guidelines. This is required, certain checks and balances are implemented there in order to improve data accuracy and any inadvertent errors. This is what the extraction bot they call it. And once the data is processed, the processed data is pushed into our SAP billing system. There is a billing software, SAP based. The data posting bot, that is a second bot, pushes the data into SAP. So since a lot of data and the stations are involved, this is actually a lot of manual work or redundant manual work can be done away with. That was the idea.
Yeah, thank you, Agesh.
This is a bot configuration that currently that is there.
Yeah, thank you, Agesh. So we move to the next slide. Yeah, thank you so much. So what Agesh has already explained the process. This is the flowchart of in a BBB format. So we extract these documents, REA documents. So we have REA document. We have also from 4 regional RPC. So these documents are different in formats. We have also Delhi REA. We have also URS, that unrequisitioned surplus power. There is a document on that which we require for ER processing. So there's an extraction. For extraction, there are learning instances. As I said, this is AIML powered tool. So it needs a training on the documents before it can extract data from the documents. So as the documents are varying for different
Sorry to
regions,
interrupt, ma'am.
Sorry.
Kindly keep the time limit in mind.
Yes,
just
yes.
2 more minutes left.
Okay, so this is these are the learning instances which are developed. Then calculation bots are there, and then posting into SAP. So so these are some of the bots. This is our cockpit where the learning instances are created, where we are training on the basis of the formats. So you can see that DSA weekly WR for this is for deviation settlement process, and these are the REA process learning instances. Based on that activity, and we have also activity bots which does the calculation, processes the raw data, and pushes it into the SAP. So these are the operations which are automated here: directory file operation, Excel operation, PDF split, SAP integration, Python coding, screen capture and run, calling other small meta bots, send and receive mails. So these are different actions which we have automated. This is the format, this is the format, and we have to generate these 5 Excel files here, which are done through these 3 bots. One is I split the document and extract, and then you calculate. And then we have an SAP posting bot, which is from this document. This is recording. This is a snapshot where the data is automatically getting pushed into SAP. So these are separate, bots which are for availability, for SG, for different parameters. We have separate bots. This is for deviation settlement process. This is another set of documents where also we extract the data, creates a processed file, and from processed file data is getting pushed into SAP. So this is a dashboard which is there. So it's a document dashboard which shows the straight through process. Overall straight through process is 93% and 99% accuracy. Whereas training instance wise, these are WR related data, REA related data. So as we can see, this is 100% accuracy and 100% straight through processes. And also it maintains a very good audit log, activity log. So from where you can see who has run which bot at what time. So that there is a proper audit log maintained. So going to critical success factors, suitable use case I have already told. User participation, as you can see, Agesh has been a part, our commercial department has been a part in partner in this development. And the benefits which we have got is that, and the innovation was that we didn't pick up a regular mundane activity. We picked up a very critical process, and we wanted to, automate the critical part of it, that the accuracy and no mistakes from manual updations and bulk data updation. And so these are the benefits we got, and the adoption of an alternate and easy to use technology for automation and integration, which will give rise to other automations. So we have other automations plans with the same bot agent which we have got. These are in supplier invoice processing, which will vendor investment, vendor onboarding, and we are targeting that we'll be able to save around 150 hours a day. Approximately, we'll starting with approximately 80 hours a day. As I told you, the AIML projects, picks up as you keep on using. So this will be approximately saving the knowledge time of around 20 man per month. That's all about from my side. Thank you so much for listening, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Very good presentation. In fact, you have power purchase agreement with so many distribution companies, and the rates, tariffs of each of them are quite different. So you have automated this. But by the way, what is the frequency of billing, and how it has helped you in quick realization of your receivables?
The billing cycle is monthly. Yeah, Agesh, I'll just come back to Agesh. A billing cycle is once a month, and for REA, regional energy account, and I showed another process, DSN, that is weekly. That's a weekly process. Yeah, Agesh.
See, from the point of view, there is no direct link. Only thing is that as soon as we raise our bills, then the zero date for realization starts. So our aim is to raise the bill as quickly as possible from the date of issue of the REA. So we have a company target also for that. So I would say that time saving is too early to quantify the time saving, because still it's a pilot project, but I can say that the data, the manual part of the data can be done away with when this process matures, and further it can be further extended to other areas, because we have selected one or two select areas in that particular energy to sale process. So I would say it is too early to quantify.
Okay, not an issue. And earlier, your commercial billing, sometimes there used to be many outstanding bills which the state boards were not honoring. Are you comfortable with on that front?
See, this is realization, and the customer sales has nothing to do with RPA. But in general, we can say that our payment fronts we are much more comfortable in the payment front since last year, because the ministry is actively involving through various regulations and orders. Yes, like they have certain possibility that we can effectively regulate the non-paying customers, so they will not be given power. So that is putting pressure on them, and the payment front has improved.
Okay. Thank you, Deshi.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I could not understand why robotic word is being used in.
It's sir, this is a technology which they call as robotic process automation. A robot, these are software robots. This because it works on its own, as if you are not doing anything on that. You don't have to do anything. You just have to kind of just start the bot, and the bot will automatically keep on doing the work. It will like it's doing a manual work by itself.
So it's like that so many programs are there, and the robot they are being driven automatically.
Yes, they are.
Something
Yes,
is doing.
it is. Yes, it is like, sir. Suppose I showed you 5 Excel files. So as if somebody is picking up data from that PDF document and putting it into this Excel, and you don't have to do anything on that. And SAP also, you log in into SAP. Somebody, you don't have to log in into the SAP. You run the program, it goes into SAP. Like that.
Okay. Ma'am,
Yes, yes.
the data, some sound is coming.
Data is coming. Yes, data is coming. They are they're published in the portals. So they are getting downloaded by the bot, and then this is processed by the bot itself for extraction.
Okay, at the substation, because the energy is being transferred at the substation level.
Yeah.
So is that reading is being taken automatically, or
no, sir.
No.
It.
If I may take that, Channa, actually,
Yeah,
what
sure.
you are saying, sir, that is the energy accounting part. Our stations are generating.
Right.
Okay, there are metering also there, and there are certain energy accounting principles are there. We call it schedules. Each beneficiary is given a scheduled data drawal. These schedules are accumulated by certain statutory agencies. We call them the RLDCs, regional load dispatch centers are there, regional power committees are there. They aggregate, they acquire this data from various stations and generators across the country, and they consolidate this data and generate an energy account, a certified account. That is our basic data for generating billing, not only for NTPC, all the generators in the country. So energy accounting agency is the regional power committee.
Okay, so whatever data you are getting,
yes.
whatever data you are getting from regional power committee, that is being read by your system, and then it is being processed.
For raising
Yes, sir.
our own bills, our own energy bills.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. Can I show a video, because videos are not encouraged, so that's why I couldn't share a video. Just why it is called this robotic. So let me just share a video. Is my
how
screen
much time
visible?
it will take? How much time?
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Just 1 minute, sir. Is my screen visible?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. So this is a download from portal. So it simply works like this. Once you have just started the bot, it can be started in background also. It will just works on its own, and it is I'm not doing anything. It's just working on its own. Similarly, we have another video which shows that how the data is getting extracted. So how the Excel manipulation is happening. So it happens on its own. You don't have to do anything, as if somebody is opening Excel and doing these hotkey operations. And similarly, these Excel operations happens, and even data pushing in SAP. So these are happening. This is a single key operation. Once you start the bot, you can keep it on its own. So it will work on its own, and it will update on its own.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I can understand this, because your data is really very huge, and it's a financial data, so one has to be 100% accurate. Then only it makes sense. So I wish you all the best. It's a good work, and keep it up, and try to give some knowledge to the state governments as well, so that they can also use your type of system for system improvement.
Definitely, sir. We have various customer workshops that NTPC is conducting, that maybe you are aware. So we will try to include this particular process as an add-on, 1 or 2 slides in that.
Good.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, jury members, for giving me this opportunities to give a presentation on the state dashboard project, which has been nominated for the SKOCH award. So today, let me just put it in my chair. Yeah. So is my slide visible?
Yes, it is
Yes,
visible.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So today I would like you to take you through the problem statement. What was the need behind implementation of the project, the solution that we have offered, the approach that we have utilized for implementation of this project, and the potential use cases and the benefits that the solution is going to provide. So what is the need of the state dashboard?
dashboard. Now, the state, there was, as you all know, that government nowadays deals with massive data sets. Now, organizing, managing, extracting insight from this diversified data sets has become more of a difficult task. So the major problem was that these data were available in a decentralized format, and they were also in silos. There was lack of integration of data, which led to the difficulty in decision making and policy formulation. There was low collaboration among department and other arms of the government due to lack of transparency in the system. There was also a lack of structural approach to work towards the major problem areas and provide a solution to those emerging problems. Also, there was lack of involvement of citizens to provide feedbacks and suggestions on how the government is working. And the major underlying driving factor for implementation of the solution was the 5T initiative of the government of Odisha, which more or less revolves around teamwork, technology, transparency, transformation, and time limit. So if we look at the state dashboard, so the state dashboard is one of a kind solution which is implemented for the state of Odisha, which is powered by a powerful analytical platform, which will give insights to the government and will help them to take data-driven decisions from the legacy data sets. Now, this will provide this platform will help in bringing in transparency in the system and also improve the scheme and the welfare outcomes which is being delivered by the government of Odisha. Now, there are majorly three components of the system. One is the CM dashboard. So CM dashboard is nothing but the public view dashboard, which provides a glimpse of the scheme performance in terms of its impact. Citizen can consume data in the form of various analytical reports for their benefit, and can also get insights of how the government is working and the underlying department also, who are delivering the day-to-day the services as well as the welfare schemes. Now, moving on to the department dashboard, as the name suggests, this dashboard is meant for the departments who are delivering these schemes and services for the benefit of the citizens. This is a broadly administrative dashboard for the department to view the performance of their schemes. These performances, the performance of the schemes and services are measured through the KPIs, that is key performance indicators, and it also comes up with an analytical report which helps them to take timely decisions by the department and also plan the resources accordingly. Last but not the least is the administrative action monitoring portal. So this portal is for the who can actually have, this is actually a workflow automation system. So in case of actions, and also assign responsibilities to the users and monitor the status of it. And this also has a wonderful feature to have a set average response time for each of this action item and monitor the status of it. In order to implement the solution, these are some of the prerequisites which is required to have the state dashboard, fruitful state dashboard. So the foremost thing is to ensure high data quality. Now, data quality is a measure of the condition of the data, such as in terms of accuracy or completeness, consistency, and reliability. So for an effective analytics to be done, high data quality is a must. Next comes the monitoring of this welfare schemes and services. It requires to define quantifiable and qualitative measures to monitor its performance in terms of KPIs. Also, KRAs, as we all know, the key responsibility areas are the outputs of the schemes and services that needs to be established. And for the last but not the least is standardizing SOPs, standard operating procedures across departments for smooth mobilization and updation and ingestion of data to ensure a high use of dashboard and analytical reports in an effective manner. So if we look at the solution, silent features of the solutions, so as I have already mentioned that the solution offers KPI-based indicator performance monitoring. Each of the schemes and services are linked to KPIs, and each of these KPIs on the performance of these KPIs, the analytical report and data sets are collected, and based on which the system will populate the graphical representation of the data as to how the schemes and services are performing. Then comes visual display of the progress in terms of trend analysis and forecasting. Also, this platform enables to perform various other kind of statistical analysis as well. And also it populates easy visualization of data, which did not require any coding. A layman can also understand by looking at the graphs and figures, the layman can understand the data talking. Like there are multiple type of maps and charts, like demography map, bar graph, pie chart, line graph, bubble graph. So there are some these are some of the type of maps that is there in the portal, in a platform. It also provides the beauty of this application is that the application was able to create a unified data structure to ingest and analyze data from multiple sources. Now, how this will work, I will take you to the next slide, and there I will explain you. And this also, the output of this platform is generation of various kind of analytical report for helping departments and state authorities to make timely decisions. So moving on to the solution USP, the platform was developed using cutting-edge technology, such as technology such as AI, ML, data science, and the solution is developed is one of a kind in the state, and was able to onboard 100 plus KPIs spread across 30 departments. And as I have mentioned earlier, unification of performance demography data was a major feature of this application. The system comes with a single sign-on feature. The department did not have to log into multiple applications. Simply, a single user ID credential will help them to onboard to the state dashboard platform. The architecture is highly scalable in nature and is also future ready, which requires a simple plan, do, check, and act procedure. And this solution is backed by best-in-class SaaS platform. So this is the technical stack. In this, I can explain you the
Sorry
data.
to interrupt, ma'am. Keeping the time limit in mind, kindly conclude in next 2 minutes, ma'am.
Yes, sure, sir. So the technical stack I will explain you in this slide. So in the left hand side, you can see there are multiple source databases where the data are available in a structured and unstructured data, be it databases, grievance platform, raw data. Also, the system can fetch data from the newspaper as well and social media. So once this data is collected, so those data are collected through the connector, and there is a data processing is done, wherein slicing and dicing of data is done, and a structural data warehouse is prepared. So once while preparing this data warehouse, data transformation, data validation is done, and based on that, a reporting layer is prepared, wherein various kind of statistical analysis is done, and the front ending is the CM dashboard, the departmental dashboard, as well as the administrative dashboard. So for grounding this platform, or the solution, there was this is the approach that we followed. There are 3 simple steps to it. As we all know, for any procedural approach, it requires a strategic intervention, which is a very long-term goal. And it also the strategic intervention comes down to tactical intervention, the tactical intervention simply specifies the strategic intervention in terms of actionable chunks. And once the tactical interventions are done, those actionable items are tagged to the time frame, and this becomes the operational intervention. So these procedural activities are linked to the tasks. So each of these department are divided, are given certain tasks like defining of KPIs, KRAs, and also mapping of actionable items within the departments, and finally generating real-time analytical report by using data management framework as well as reporting visualization tool. So these are some of the potential use cases where the state dashboard was effective. Like in the case of disaster management, I would like to give you an example of COVID-19 dashboard. So on the onset of pandemic, this COVID-19 dashboard was very useful. So this was able to provide insights like demography-wise infection rate, testing summary, hospital infra analysis, mortality rate, infection rate. Those data were.
Ma'am, sorry to disturb you. Please conclude.
Yes, sir. So similarly, the dashboard can be applicable for other sectors as well. So this is the benefit. We are on the last slide of this presentation. So the solution was able to give a 360-degree view of the data. It was able to give a data visualization in terms of various graphs and chart, various type of analytics like trend analysis, forecasting, correlation mapping through root cause analysis can be done through this application. So we are done with the presentation, sir. If you have any further any queries on the presentation, I would like to answer.
Thank you, ma'am. Very comprehensive presentation and very precise also. At the same time, it is very essential to track the data to see improvement, rather precisely delta improvement, which matters more.
Yes,
as per your analytics, what is the picture of your in your state about the IMR and MMR data in health sector?
So in terms of health sector, sir,
you can send later also if you don't have right now. You can email it separately.
Yes, sir.
How the IMR and MMR have improved over last 5 years? This is the precise question.
Sure, sir.
As per
sure,
your
sir, sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
That was the only
question.
question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. No question, please. Thank you.